Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You, Me, and He, a podcast that's got no food, got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off. I'm your host, Rob Lambert, and I'm joined by my co-host.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
And Drew Carroll.
Dude, you have no idea how much it just, like, in my heart, how much it just leaps when I hear Drew Carroll right there, dude. It's good to have you back, my friend.
Yeah, it's nice to have you, dude. We missed you last week. We missed you.
Hey, if I listen, though, Danny did a great job.
Oh, of course,
Awesome.
yeah.
Danny always does a good job. We're happy to have him.
Yeah,
We hate to see you go, but we're happy because every time you come back, dude, you just have the greatest poop stories. What can I say?
Speaking of, do you got one of those?
I don't know. Well, actually, I probably do if I think hard enough. I'm sure there's one in there.
Well, dude, we're glad that you're back. And hey, there's a couple of things that I want to say. First of all, I have been checking out some of our stats for the show. This might seem a little meta to be talking about this, but dude, I'm looking at our stats and I'm seeing that it says that we have listeners in the following countries. The United States, of course.
Sure.
But let me run this down for you. Japan, Mexico, France, Australia, Kuwait, Indonesia, Spain, Netherlands, South Africa, and the Philippines. Now, here's the deal.
That's awesome.
I want to believe that it's not like somebody using something like Tor that's like bouncing their IP all over. But if there's legitimately listeners in Kuwait, Indonesia, Australia, France, we just want to say thanks. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much. That's fantastic.
There's probably only one person over there, but hey, if you're alone, it's okay. We love you.
If you had asked me 8 episodes ago if we were going to have fans in Kuwait, I would have said no.
What if it's
Absolutely not.
What if it's one guy on like a 3-week vacation?
That's a lot of countries to bounce them back and forth.
Sure,
Maybe
I don't know.
a 3-month vacation.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not much of a
vacation,
traveler. I don't.
You might
Dude,
want to check
whoever-
those episodes. You know, he might be just watching 1 episode per country.
For real, whoever that guy is, he can come and sponsor the show if he can travel like that. Jeez.
That'd be perfect.
Take us with you.
You hear us, traveling guy? If you're listening, we really need some sponsorship.
Now, guys, I also want to share with you an awesome review. Usually we would do this on the front end of the show, but this one was so good that I just had to put it as part of the show. And here's the deal. This is the review that probably will set the bar for every other review to come. I'm not saying that every review should be like this, but when I read it, it just made me smile. So this was a 5-star review that we received on iTunes from Blake B29. And it goes like this. This is the body of it, is what it says. Xmen Origins. Cyclops. Synopsis. Cyclops has consumed an entire pot of coffee. He senses the inevitable. The closest restroom to him is 4 floors above. Knowing that
Oh, this is great already.
knowing that every second counts, he decides that an elevator is the fastest route. The elevator door opens, and there stands Jean Grey, the love of his life, who's also heading 4 floors up. Halfway there, the elevator stops. It's stuck. An hour passes by, and beads of sweat drip down Cyclops' brow. I'm so sorry, Jean, he says. He chooses his corner of shame and does as nature intended. From behind his glasses, he sheds a tear, knowing that Jean will never love him. The elevator starts moving, and they reach their floor. The door opens, and just as Cyclops shamefully pokes his head out, looking around in hopes that no one else has to witness the atrocities that he had to commit, the elevator cable snaps. The floor escapes his feet, and he feels himself floating for a split second, but only until the top elevator door speeds down on his neck, forcing his chin to meet the solid ground, and he has only inches away from. Only Cyclops' head made it to the 4th floor. Dang it. Thanks, Blake.
Mr. B29. That was
You
phenomenal. That was great.
Like I said, I'm not saying that every review should bash Cyclops, but this one was pretty good.
That one's pretty good, man. I love that I used material from the show. That was just fantastic. I love it.
That's right. So anyways, Josh, how you doing, man?
I am not doing well, folks. I am not doing well at all. I am a cursed Vikings fan, and I had to witness the detonation of my team once again in the NFC Championship game. I didn't cry this time.
That's good. That's a plus. You are slowly making progress.
Slowly. Yeah, dude. So
full-out
distraught, man. So distraught. I actually tried to think of like material this week of like stories I could share. And like it was one of those weeks, man. Like it was just rough. Like work was rough. Nothing was going well. You know? I couldn't come up with a single thing. At least I had like, you know, this to share with the audience. You know, it's like I hurt right now. I hurt. Probably not as bad as the Vikings because, you know, they got bent over and shown the 50 states. But
Oh, no.
Dude, they made their millions. They don't care.
Yeah, I know they don't care.
Let's lay this season to rest early.
That's the sad part. The fans take the grief.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's like I told you, man. There's one way to heal your heart, and that's just to hang up your Viking helmet and then just put on your eye patch and come join me in Vegas when the Raiders take it all the way, baby.
I should probably like a California team anyway. My baseball team's a California team. My basketball team's a California team. The Vikings are really the only team that are not a California team. And it's probably time to dump them because they're a bunch of heartless jerks. That's all I can say. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. Everybody out there, I need the well wishes.
Hey,
Drew, how are you doing?
I hope it gets better, man. I'm doing all right. I had an interesting week. So I've been working 6 days and then 1 day off, you know. And when I went back this last time to San Francisco to work, it was on a Wednesday, and I got up at 5:30, drove to San Francisco, and I met my buddy at this Safeway that we're going to work in front of. It's in the Castro district. And we're working this Safeway, and about noon, like these 3 kids show up. And when I say kids, I mean 2 guys who are probably like in their early 20s and one that's like probably 12 or 13.
You are aging yourself, bro.
Hey, hey. You'll see in a second. So these kids are sitting out there, and they have like this sheet that they printed off the internet. And it's like, they're telling people that they're collecting money for their basketball team. This one dude has a bigger beard than I do. Oh, I'm like, dude, you don't play for any school around here.
No.
Like a prison team.
Wow. Prison team, yeah.
So we're out there, and my buddy that I work with, when our pitch is always, hey, we don't want your money. All we need is signatures. All you got to do is sign, And it pissed these kids off because they're trying to get people's money. So this little 12 or 13-year-old kid, dude, he had the foulest mouth I've ever heard on anybody. Dude, calling us the N-word, telling us to F off. I'm like, dude, this is unbelievable. So finally, like, security runs him out. A couple of them tried to steal inside the store. They got up in the security guard's face and made him look like a fool. He went back inside, so we were left to fend for ourselves out there,
He just walk of shame back into the store.
Yeah, dude, yeah. So we're sitting out there, and finally the cops show up, and those kids take off, and the manager's like, well, I want them gone too. And we're like, no, we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay right here and work.
Yeah.
So we fight with them, dude, for like an hour and a half. We made like hardly any money. It was ridiculous. The next day we go back to the same spot, dude, and those kids show up again. And they're going back and forth with us and going back and forth with us. And I'm like, this is dumb. So after like an hour, Colby's like, dude, do you just want to go? I go, yeah, we should just go because we're not making any money anyway. Let's just take off. So I pile up all of our boards and everything and all of our papers, and I stack them up on the table. And this little 12-year-old kid comes walking up and just boom, just hits it all off the table, dude. All these papers just scatter.
Oh, no.
And Colby comes running up. What are you doing? You can't touch our stuff, blah, blah, blah. This kid throws his minion's backpack off, dude. And
Wow.
and he starts attacking Colby, dude, and he swings at him. Boom, boom, 3 times, swings at him. And Colby stepped back as many times as he could, dude. And finally he was up against a wall. And he swings one more time, and he puts his head back, and dude, and all of a sudden he just brings his hand around, and I see it in slow motion, dude. He cracks his 12-year-old in the jaw.
Oh my God.
Hello, kitty.
Oh, dude. And this kid like backs up, and he's like, oh, you got John. And he could barely talk, dude. And I'm like, oh, man. Why do you talk to adults like that? Like, what's wrong with you? So then, dude, I'm like, I'm kind of worried. I'm like, dude, my buddy just hit a minor. Like, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. The cops get there, and we tell him the story, and he looks at the security guard, and he goes, do you have video footage of this? And he goes, yeah, I got some tape that you can check out. So he goes in there and he watches the tape, dude. He comes back like 5 minutes later and he goes, so, do you want to press charges on the kid?
That's awesome. What'd Colby say? No?
No. Yeah, I mean, dude.
Let it go. Let him walk away in shame.
The cops said that they wouldn't press charges on anybody anyway. They have people stealing from that store. Dude, I sat out there for 8 hours. I watched people steal from that store like every 15 minutes, dude.
Oh my god.
That Safeway hires 3 security companies, dude, and none of them can do anything to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's just a giant
they're
waste
just there
of
with
money.
a glorified badge. And, yeah, because they can't touch anyone. So
Yeah. So
Dude.
it was an interesting. It's an interesting job. I love it. Yeah, I'm blessed.
I'm blessed. I'm doing God's work.
As soon as that kid threw the minion's backpack off and started swinging, dude, Colby should have just decked him
dude.
and then stood over him and just looked at him and said, "Banana."
Hey, dude. Hey, that kid was like a miniature Biggie Smalls, dude. He looked just like the smaller, shorter version. You know, not the smaller version. He was like the same size version, just shorter.
What's wrong with kids
Just short and
these days?
stout.
Oh, it was crazy, dude. Yeah, it was quite an experience, man. It was like, have you guys ever watched like hood clips or anything?
No.
Oh, it was like seeing that firsthand though. YouTube that sometime.
I think we're gonna have to maybe do an episode on that. Hood clips.
Dang. Dude, man.
Take a
Just
look.
never a dull moment for you, bro. Never
Yeah.
a dull moment.
You got the most adventurous life.
Sure.
right.
Yeah. Every time something
Let's call it that.
every time something weird happened, I would look at Colby and go, "Man, I miss Chowchilla, my small ignorant town. I miss that town so much."
Well, hey, we had an awesome question come in on Twitter that as soon as it hit, I was like, you know what, this could actually be a really cool discussion topic for the entire episode. And so one of my buddies, his name's Vinny, on Twitter, he's at VinVoltage. He asked the following question, and I think it's going to be awesome. He said, with the growing popularity of comic book characters getting their own TV shows, who do you believe deserves a chance? And the way that I'm taking this is like, who's not going to get a show? But man, if they did, that would be so dang awesome. He said personally for him, it's all about Nightcrawler, but I think we're going to have some other choices there too. So if a superhero could get their own Netflix series, who's it going to be? Who wants to go first?
Okay, well, I think I'll go ahead and jump on that one. Nightcrawler is a cool option. I thought he was an awesome character in Xmen. I too actually chose in Xmen because he was one of my favorite characters growing up. I don't think a movie is going to be like great for this character, but I think a TV series kind of chronicling his life and like maybe outside of the X-Men would be awesome. I'm talking about Gambit.
Oh, dang.
I think Gambit having his own TV series could be really, really awesome. I mean, who didn't like the card carrying guy who could like blow up anything with the flick of his wrist growing up with
dude.
X-Men?
Yeah, dude,
You
he's
know what I
amazing.
mean?
Dude, he was
Like-
probably my favorite.
Yeah,
to be
dude.
honest
Gambit
with you.
Gambit was cool. I mean, I know it's like, you know, his power is energy. He could energize anything, you know, and blow it up. But the fact that he used a deck of cards,
Yeah.
you know, and he had that southern accent, dude. And like, if you saw Wolverine or Origins, I think it was X-Men Origins.
Yeah, they
you know?
touched on it.
And yeah, I mean, just a card player like in that movie, and you know, kicking back bourbon, like, dude, I think that'd be a really awesome character to like follow.
I was excited when they introduced him because I was like, "Oh, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, finally.
This guy's going to be
Gambit.
awesome." Yeah,
Finally. Yeah.
He's probably
Yeah.
a prick, you know, which is great for those types of movies. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, dude. He's probably got alcohol problems, gambling problems, obviously.
Yeah.
Dude,
More than
he's
likely.
exactly what you'd want to see in a movie.
He's drama, dude.
Yeah.
He's drama. Like, I mean, he even walked out on the X-Men in the cartoon series back in the 90s, 2000s. So, I mean, I think that'd be a great series to have. The other one that I thought would be really, really cool is because you can't give them their own movie at all because, you know, they just don't have like the same powers that the rest of the Avengers have. But if you could like do a Netflix series with Hawkeye and Black Widow, I think that would actually be pretty legit. I mean, those are kind of like some of the characters that I think deserve their own like platform right
Dude,
now at this point.
I don't know
So,
his name, but I like the actor that plays Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds right.
I like.
he's actually from Modesto.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that
He
dude.
grew up in Modesto.
I like that dude.
Okay,
So,
2 things. Number 1.
yeah,
Actually, 3 things. Number
Okay.
1, Gambit is awesome because he's got sweet bow staff skills. Okay. Number 2, I had heard at one point that they were actually going to do a standalone Gambit movie, and Channing Tatum was going to play Gambit, which sounded horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm glad they never followed through with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, number 3. I actually read today that a Black Widow standalone film is in the works.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
so maybe I misread that one.
Dude, they're going to do films for all of them.
You know it's going to be good because it usually is, but it does seem like, man, what are they going to do? You know, because I know she's a hardcore assassin, right?
Yeah, who's her villain going to be? I mean, is she going to be up against like the Russian government, or I mean, I don't know a lot about the individual character of Black Widow. I'll tell you that much. But it's just like
it's going to be Putin himself, bro. He's just shirtless, riding a bear.
Yeah, riding a bear up north with snow on the ground.
She's just going to fight communism on her own.
Yeah, dude. So I don't know. Those were kind of my picks. So, Rob, I know
That's
you
awesome.
had to have something like standing in. What was your pick?
Dude, okay. I had to think long and hard about this one because there's a lot of characters that I think would actually have like a pretty cool series, but when I'm thinking about a hero that I want to see and that I think they could do a really cool show with is going to have to be Star-Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's what I'm thinking, dude. I know. You thought I was going to say Cyclops. Sucker. No, here's what I'm going to say. Here's the reason I'm going to say Star-Lord. What I think would be awesome is for them to do a Star-Lord series that is separate from Guardians, okay? Like, he's off on his own. The Guardians can pop in now and then if they want, but do it in, like, kind of like the old serial style where, like, every episode almost ends with him in peril, and you're almost like, what's going to happen to Peter Quill? Tune in next week to find, like that kind of thing. Yeah, and like make it like kind of 80s, like 80s sitcom cheesy a little bit, but like, dude, like even maybe a little bit of like MacGyver in there. Like, I think it could be freaking awesome, dude, if it was just, they just totally took it in kind of a different direction from what they've done in some of the other stuff, and just, I mean, kind of like how they did with the movie,
I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that would work. Yeah. No, I like that. I like the idea of having Star-Lord with his own. I would follow it. I think that'd be really cool, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't know. I like that one. That's a good pick.
Just some cheesy 80s like credits at the beginning, and man.
Yeah, that's what Guardians does best, man. They capitalized on the cheesiness and the comedy. So, I mean, that would be perfect. Just kind of go a little above, over the top. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. That's a good pick. I like that one. What about you, Drew? What do you got?
I picked. Well, okay. So what I did was I ended up Googling, like a bunch of different characters, and there's way more characters than I ever could have even imagined. They have a character for everything. But this one that I stumbled across was this dude named Shadow Man.
What?
Shadow Man, yeah. And obviously, like, the look of him was cool. It's kind of like the Crow, he had the white face and like the black makeup. Looks super rad. And then see, his power doubles at night. His strength doubles at nighttime, and he knows the day that he's gonna die in 1999. Okay, so
wait,
it's gonna have to be a movie.
Okay.
But dude, that's cool. That's a cool. You know when you're gonna die, so you know what you can and can't do. So
unless you're a really negative person, like, like if you just see everything like cup half empty,
oh yeah,
like you're not gonna accomplish much.
I could jump out of this plane with no parachute. I'm not dying till 1999.
I think it's a state of mind at that point.
Yeah, dude. So, but I read actually yesterday that they're going to be. They killed off his character, obviously, but they're going to be. They're going to be
back in 1999.
It was probably in like 95 when they were writing it. It didn't even get to 99. But
okay, wait a minute.
They're rebooting it.
Wait, this isn't the same superhero like The Shadow. Oh, okay.
No, dude. Okay, I had to Google it, and I have it right here. And he does have like that Crow look, but let me read you what his powers are, because one of them I thought was really interesting. Paranormal strength,
Perfect.
endurance, agility and reflexes, night vision, regenerative healing, gliding capabilities.
Dude, who wouldn't want that?
Dude, depleted fear.
So they took
because-
Superman and made him into the Crow.
So he gets scared of things, but not as much.
He's like
He gets scared of things,
He's
but
like-
only half as much as
he's like
everybody
the
else.
millennial superhero. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, and finally, it
I can
says,
text really
and
fast.
and other voodoo powers. So there you go. Dude, Shadow Man, bro.
Shadow
Okay.
Man. All right. Not a bad one.
I could dig it.
Cool.
You'll see.
Sweet.
I think those are decent picks. I think those are all decent picks.
When it's
So,
in theaters, you'll all see.
okay, whatever. We talked about
When it's
Netflix
in
series.
theaters.
It's a TV show, not a movie.
We said movie or show, right? I thought it was movie or show. It has to be a movie about this guy. He's only lived until 99, dude. He's already been dead for.
No.
19
See, that's
Yeah.
dude. That's where you're wrong, dude. They could do a show, but they could set it like in the late '80s,
Yeah.
early '90s, dude. There you go.
Yeah.
That could be amazing. Well, hey, if you have a superhero that you would like to see get their own series, we would love for you to chime in and keep the conversation going on Twitter at YouMeHePodcast or Facebook.com/YouMeHePodcast. And hey, if you have a really good question like that for a main discussion topic, I mean, we'll take it. That's awesome. So thanks again, Vinny. We appreciate that. That is
Perfect.
rad.
Yeah.
So speaking of listener questions, we also got some awesome questions that came in on Facebook and Twitter this week. But one that just stood out that we thought was awesome that we're going to kind of break down this week was from Benjamin Cooper. And he wants to know, which pro wrestler inspired your life the most? Who wants to go first?
I'm going to let Andrew take this one first. He seemed really proud of his pick, so go.
Okay, first understand that my knowledge of this individual is not based on wrestling. That was like a side thing for me. Okay. This guy was the star lead role of The Princess Bride, right?
Wait.
The star?
In my eyes. Stole the show. Andre
Nice.
the Giant, of course.
Oh,
Just a beast of a
anybody
man.
want a peanut? Dude.
So-
Andre, man. How's he
okay.
inspired you, man?
Oh, so this dude right here, while on the set of Princess Bride, he was there filming for like a month, in UK or wherever
Yeah.
they filmed that. His hotel bar bill was over $40,000, dude.
More than he made on the movie.
Hey, yeah, dude.
For real.
Yeah. Dude, insane, right? So this guy crushed like 126 12-ounce beers in 6 hours. 126,
Whoa.
dude.
That beats my record for a night. That's for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Hey,
Yeah.
he would have to drink 2 liters of vodka just to feel warm.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Dude, just
dang.
a
This is
beast of a man.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So they said that he was in
40,000.
one time he was in New York and he was out like drinking at the bars and stuff, and he got so drunk that he passed out and he fell over and he fell on somebody. So after
Oh,
that,
no.
after that, New York
Oh.
would send an undercover cop when he would go around to the bars just to make sure he wasn't falling on anybody. So he would just follow him from bar to bar and make sure that he doesn't fall on anybody.
Which, by the
That's
way,
amazing.
was that was his main move in the wrestling ring too, right?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, just a
Falling on
beast.
people.
Yeah, so also
There goes Andre. He's going to fall on him.
dude, when they were filming Princess Bride, he got so drunk at the lobby that he passed out down there, and he was so big nobody could move him to his
He
room.
just slept in
So
the
they
lobby.
took the cover off the piano and put it over him for a blanket.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a good story right there.
That is amazing.
Dude, if you just read through this dude's Wikipedia, man, it'll change your life.
Covered
It's
him up
awesome.
with a piano blanket. That's fantastic. Just left him on the floor.
Excellent.
Didn't
The
he-
piano cover.
Didn't he die at a pretty early age?
Yeah, dude, people that big don't do well.
How big was he?
Oh man,
I know he was big, but
they say that his actual height was like 6'11", but in the WWE they were saying that he was like 7'4". But
okay.
they also said that he was really careful not to take pictures next to people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was actually like 7'4".
yeah, because he
he's
would have been
shorter.
shorter.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, just a monster of a man.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a picture of his hand holding a beer can, dude. And have you ever seen like the mini soda cans? It's like me
Yeah,
holding
for
one of those. Yeah, dude, but it's
Little
his
8-ounce
with him
can.
it's a normal one, dude. Just yeah. just a monster. So
Yeah, clocked in.
Yeah.
You said what, 6'11" or something?
6'11", dude.
Yeah, 6'11". Probably weighing in at a good 450.
Nah, dude. Wikipedia has him 7 foot 4 inches.
Yeah, but that's
520 pounds.
500, dude. That is
Oh, a monster
That's-
of a
yeah.
man, dude.
Yeah.
A monster.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
They're lucky the piano cover was big enough.
Dude.
Well, I mean, look at it this way, man. Your normal baby grand piano weighs about 1,500 pounds. 1,000 pounds. So, I mean, if he was 500, yeah, that's how we will measure blankets going on from now on.
And cattle.
That blanket's about 3 Andres. That blanket's about 2 Andres. It's kind of like the stink measurement in Hobo. I mean, if you guys remember that one, whoa, dude, that fart was like 20 Hobo.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man. Oh, dude. I saw my share of that in the city too, man. Me and my buddy were walking to dinner one night, and we were going to, just going to get something to eat, dude. And we just walk around the corner from the hotel, and we see this homeless dude pull his pants down and start pooping right there on the side of the street.
There's the poop story.
There it is. Yep.
My buddy
it may not have been yours, but it kind of was.
Dude, my buddy looks at me and he goes, "Man, you want to order in?" Well, yeah, let's order in. Let's go no further.
Dirty, dude.
That is so disgusting. Good job.
That's nasty.
Oh my gosh.
So there's the off-topic poop story.
All right, Rob.
Excellent.
Who was your wrestler? Inspired?
Okay, I initially was going to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin because I feel like every time I walk into the room, everybody gets stunned. But I decided that I'm probably going to go. I know that was really bad. But I think I'm going to go with the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes, original.
And
Very.
I'm going to tell you why. It's 2 reasons. One, the guy, I mean, obviously the most obvious one, I mean, who's the machoest man you know? You probably can't see, but I'm pointing 2 thumbs at myself right now.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Okay.
I was waiting for the answer.
No. Is there
Oh yeah. But no, but the second reason I would say is because this is a guy, dude, who he was creative, okay? He liked to take chances, he liked to try and be push the envelope and with his creativity. So if you've never listened to the rap album Be a Man by the Macho Man Randy Savage,
Oh no. Yeah, I've never heard it. Yeah.
then you haven't lived. So
Wow.
I just want to encourage you to just, if you ever need to get pumped up, just go. He made a diss track on Hulk Hogan called Be a Man, and you just need to go listen to that. And then if you're ever feeling like you just want to shed a tear for someone you love, he wrote a rap song for his friend Mr. Perfect called The Perfect Friend. And man, it's good. So yeah, it's just
I doubt that.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, there's really nothing great to wrestling. So
I just,
It's
dude,
a
he
fake
just,
sport.
yeah.
And then you
Dude,
can't
he
fake your way
inspires.
through the rap game.
dude, that's right, dude. He just inspires me to just go out there and do my thing, regardless of what people think or all the haters. So
If Macho Man
Man
Randy Savage can do it, I can do
that's
it
right.
too.
That's right. So Macho Man, you are the perfect friend. You just didn't know it. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, Josh, what about you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I didn't watch a lot of wrestling, like ever. I was familiar with characters. Like I remember having a lot of action figures actually from like WWF, you know, back
like
in the day.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah,
and
you know, we
that's
had a
only
lot of
one
the
I could
action
name.
figures, but we didn't watch wrestling much, you know. So I kind of went a little bit of a different direction with this one. My most inspiring professional wrestler, and it took him some time to actually reach the pros, Mr. Nacho Libre. Yes.
Dude, he had to grind it out, bro, on the indies for a while.
That's right, he did. But you know what? He had the right heart all the way through. Even though he always had this passion to be a professional wrestler, he did it for the kids.
Sure.
That's right,
He
man.
did it for the kids, man. And there's nothing more inspiring than doing it for the kids. You know what I mean? It's just
I mean, initially he wanted to do it for Ramses, but then it turns out he's a real douche.
Don't you know I've had diarrhea since Easter's?
Yeah, dude. So
Dude.
Such a funny movie.
yeah, I mean, I just had to bring that one up. That was one of our favorite movies, and I mean, Jack Black as Nacho Libre, dude. Like, you remember the first time we watched that film, we were like, wow, this was really stupid.
Oh, yeah.
And then we watched it a second time, and we just couldn't stop laughing. Like,
Dude, the first time that I saw it, I remember going to see it with our buddy Kyle. And afterwards, I was like, dude, why did you make me waste my money on that?
Yeah.
And then the second time, I was like, what was I thinking? That is a masterpiece. Good
Exactly.
job, Jack Black.
did you ask him, like, can't we ever have like a salad or something?
Dude, the good news is if the wrestling career doesn't ever work out for him, or if he needs something to fall back on, dude, he people don't think he knows a buttload about the gospel, but he does. Dude, he's a man of the cloth, bro. He can always fall back on it.
There were so many good liners in that movie, dude. Just like fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All
Steven,
day.
how did you find me? We saw you from the village. 10 feet away. Hey, Nacho.
Oh,
Anyway.
that's so good.
Yeah, dude. I figure that's just as good as like, having grown up watching wrestling. Like I figure that was more inspiring than some of the wrestling I didn't see. So
And equally real.
That's amazing. Well, on that note, dang it. Hey, if you have a question that you want to submit, or hey, if you want to chime in a wrestler that's inspired you, why don't you leave us a comment on Twitter at YouMeHe Podcast or Facebook.com/YouMeHe Podcast. And thanks to Benjamin Cooper for that one. It was awesome. And hey, you know what? I'm just going to throw a plug in here. Vinny, the guy who gave us our question about the superhero TV show, he actually has a podcast called the Power Slam Pod. And it's all about wrestling. So if you're into that, you can check that out.
Ooh,
it's on
sorry.
iTunes.
yeah, sorry, Benny.
All that stuff.
Can we edit that?
No, we'll leave it in. It'll be good. Maybe he'll have us sit in, and you can just make fun of it the whole time.
we might have to bring Vinny on the show just so he can like give his alternate
Yeah, there you
opinion
go.
about everything. Yeah.
I probably shouldn't
That's
be here.
Dang it. Yeah, you can find him and follow him at VinVoltage on Twitter. So let us take it to Socrates. If you could give yourself some advice, what would it be, my friends?
If I could give myself some advice, I would probably handle the 8-year-old version of myself the same way Colby handled that 12-year-old. I'd go back and sock myself in the jaw and say, don't you ever become a Vikings fan, you little crap. Don't you ever become a Vikings fan. It's nothing but a road of heartache. Turn around. Change your ways now.
Yeah,
It
dude.
will kill you.
Yeah, what a mess, man. That's probably what the gray hair's from.
Yeah,
That's right. There you go. Exactly.
Oh yeah, I think that's my Socrates for the night. Yeah.
True. Hit us with that 1-2 punch of wisdom.
If I could go back and do things again, I would probably stay at my job at Pizza Factory. It was real chill. I ate a lot of pizza. The hours were good.
You toss them, they're awesome, bro.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So, you know what? If I could reflect, I'd probably stay there. I'd probably own that place by now. And
There you go.
It'd still be open.
Are you sure about
CEO of the
Are you-
Pizza
Are you sure
Factory.
about that?
No one else could keep it open, so I doubt I could.
Who owned that place after the guy who hired you? Dude, I really liked it when they bought out Pizza Factory because,
They were really nice.
well, they were really nice, but at the same time that I was working at Starbucks, like we had a really great trade going on.
She would come in and
I'd give her latte. Sorry, Starbucks, free of charge. And but thank you, I got a pizza for free almost every day at lunch if I wanted it too.
Dude.
So I was like, sweet deal.
Dang,
Dude, come on, you know-
that's awesome. How did I not know about this?
dude, you know I was giving you pizza long before that.
Oh yeah.
We ate pizza for like 3 years straight.
One of the amazing things at working at Starbucks, though, and you'll remember this because it happened, was that when the pastries got too old to sell,
Yep.
you got to mark them out. And, being the shift supervisor, like, I got to take home whatever I wanted, and you were the beneficiary of a lot of that, too.
You have to take home the day-old
Yeah.
grody pastries.
Yeah. You pull apart the hard muffins to get to the soft spot.
Take the shell of the muffin off along with the wrapper.
Yeah, but dude, when you're 18, it doesn't matter.
No, it's all
You
good.
eat it.
Yeah.
It's free.
I'd probably still eat it.
All right, Rob, what about you? What's your Socrates?
Dude, I think this one's pretty simple, bro. I would look myself right in the eye and say, hey, man, if a 12-year-old swings first, it's fair game.
It's
Go
fair
to town.
game, yeah.
Hey, dude, you know
That's
what
the way I feel about it too.
the funny part of it, after we were done, he was like, dude, if that kid would have hit me and I didn't get to hit him back, that would have ruined my life.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
Imagine if you got KO'd by that kid.
Oh, dude, that would have been terrible, man.
I'm with you, Rob. I'm with you.
You do the crime, you do the time. Well, hey, we want to say thank you so much for listening to the show and for supporting the show. Make sure you're leaving those 5-star reviews on iTunes because it helps so much. And hey, now you have the bar, man. Blake set the bar on that Cyclops review. Dang it. So, hey, until next time, I am Rob Lambert.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
Drew Carroll.
Go on out there and punch a 12-year-old. Have a good night.